Hi guys, I'm Shivans. This is HGDIY as always, and in this video, I'm going to tell you a lot of things about interference. And interference is a very big topic itself, so don't expect that I can wrap up interference in this one single video. I definitely need more than one video to wrap interference for you guys to tell you a lot of things about interference. But for now, take this video as a very first video in this series of interference. So we're going to talk about interference in wrestling career, in booking career, and of course in exhibition. So first of all, you have to go in options. Remember that I'm telling you all the basics in this video, and in the future videos I'm going to tell you about many other things. So you have to go into options and then cast and then enable interference. So for those of you who don't know about the interference stuff, if you set interference on never, it's definitely gonna disable the interference. That means in your wrestling career and in your booking career, no one going to be interfering in your match. And this is just for wrestling and booking career. It actually doesn't matter if you talk about exhibition. You can change the exhibition setting as you want, and it definitely not depends upon the interference setting right here. So as you can see, I've already cast of three wrestlers right here: Conor McGregor, Brock Lesnar, and Mate. I don't know the name of that wrestler, to be honest. So we have a cast of these three wrestlers. Now what exactly happening is, like, first of all, I'm going to tell you about planned intervals, and then I'm going to tell you about surprise intervals. Now there is a bit difference between planned interval and surprise intervals, and all the things that you need to know about planned intervals and surprise intervals. So the difference between planned intervals and surprise intervals is that if you choose planned intervals, first of all, I'm going to show you what happens if you choose planned intervals. So definitely we have planned intervals right here. So most of the new players made a mistake, a very big mistake, that they choose planned intervals and start playing as selected characters, and they think that some random dude will arrive after the end of 1 minute. So I've chosen, as you can see, I've chosen the countdown to 1 minute. That means we have chosen a planned intervals. A random wrestler should be arriving after 1 minute, but this happens only in the case of surprise intervals and not in the case of planned intervals. What I'm trying to say is that in planned intervals, you can actually choose the wrestler who is going to be interfering in your match, while in surprise interval you cannot choose the match, or you cannot choose the player who is actually interfering in your match. It's going to be some random dude. So for now, as you can see, after 1 minute, no one arrived in our match, no one interfered in our match, because I haven't chosen anyone, as you can see. And keep that in mind, while choosing planned intervals, you have to choose someone to interfere in your match. So for now, I'm choosing Conor McGregor again. As you can see, I have Conor McGregor, and if I hit play and choose Randy Orton this time, after 1 minute, Conor McGregor is going to be interfering in this match, and I'm going to quickly fast forward and show you that this exactly happens, just to preview my point. So the thing is, in plan interval, you actually know who is the wrestler who's going to be interfering in your match, while in surprise interval, you don't know who is the wrestler who's gonna be interfering in your match. It's going to be some random dude, even if you said that. But we go on plan. We are going to talk about surprise interval after a short time. First off, let's take a look about plan intervals. As you can see, after exactly 1 minute, Conor McGregor arrived. Now there is a small problem, if you have noticed, that we choose Brock Lesnar from the very beginning, and we are Brock Lesnar indeed. But what happens if we choose Conor McGregor from the very starting? It should be it should be us it should be us who is going to be interfering in the match of Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, right? So let's try to do this. Let's try to hit play and choose Conor McGregor this time to interfere in the match of Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. Of course, this didn't happen, and what exactly happened is that we and Randy Orton got involved in a match, and now Brock Lesnar is going to be interfering in our match. Let me show you. Now the problem is, you cannot be that person who is actually interfering in the match. Now this is the small thing which you need to keep in your mind while playing planned intervals, that you cannot be that guy who is going to interfere in that match. Now most of you may be disappointed about just after listening this thing, but this is a sad reality that you have to face, that you cannot be that guy who's actually interfering in the match. And as you can see, uh, Brock Lesnar just arrived in our match. The problem is, we cannot be Brock Lesnar from the very starting, because Conor McGregor was supposed to be interfering in this match. Of course, we can become Brock Lesnar after the interference of Brock Lesnar by switching characters. As you can see, I'm not Brock Lesnar. I'm not Brock Lesnar, but I cannot be that guy from the very beginning, because the game wants you to forcefully choose someone to play from the very starting. So this is the problem with planned intervals. Now let's talk about a bit about the surprise intervals. I've already talked about surprise intervals, but let me show you as well what happens in surprise intervals. So if you're going to go in rules and choose format as surprise intervals, it actually means some random guy is going to be the part of your match, or some random guy is going to interfere in your match, and that definitely not depends about the third person that you're choosing. Currently, the third person is Conor McGregor, as you can see. But if I'm going to hit play and become Brock Lesnar and fast forward this match after 1 minute, so definitely we're going to fast forward this match, increase the speed of this match. As you can see, after 1 minute, Conor McGregor is supposed to be interfering in our match, but since we have two surprise intervals, Conor McGregor will not interfere in our match, and instead of Conor McGregor, some random dude will arrive in our match. Some random dude will interfere in our match, to be exact. And we are already halfway through the match, just 20 seconds more. The difficulty level is hard, if you're just wondering. As you can see, here is petrol or diesel, and the problem with surprise interval is that you cannot determine who is going to be the part of your game. But this is the point of surprise interval, and that is why it's called surprise interval. It's just surprise intervals are just a part of the game to add some chaos in the game, but it's definitely not for a specific interference. So so planned intervals are for specific interference, and surprise intervals are for surprise interference. So this is it for today's video, I think, because it's already been 6 to 7 minutes long. I don't want to stretch this video a lot more than that. Definitely, I'm going to explain you about interference in broadly in my different videos in the next video of this series, and the video is going to be out probably this week or the next week. I'm not sure about it, but thank you so much for watching this video, and keep supporting, guys. Keep loving. Peace out.